So let's give a big round of applause to that group of people. The reason I'm holding this, by the way, like this, just for anybody who's curious, it's not a Freddie Mercury thing. It's really because it's a very short pole, and it doesn't work for me. It'll be worse for Bill Porter when he gets up here. And then the other group that I want to thank are the people that I have a pleasure of working with and alongside, and that is the RoboNation team, the RoboNation staff. I want all of them to raise their hands because they go over and above to make this happen. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We've got a few things to acknowledge and people to acknowledge, and then we're going to jump right into the awards. And the way we're going to do this, listen very carefully, is that when we call out your name, your team's name, we want you to either raise your hand or stand up. You're not going to come up on stage. We will bring you whatever we're going to bring you. So stick around. And we'll do this more us coming to you, because otherwise if we have a team at a time come up on stage, get something, take a picture, it's going to add half an hour to all of this. So in order to expedite this, because we know you want to go out and have fun, you want to go to the pool party, all of those things, we're going to roll pretty quickly through the awards. Make sense? Everybody got that? Cool. But we are absolutely going to acknowledge you. So one of the hallmarks of the RoboNation competitions is that it is a competition. I mean, that's clearly in the name, but more than anything, these are collaborations. Hopefully all of you figured out and got to benefit from the fact that this week you did more learning and sharing and networking and growing than you really did competing. I mean, competing is a fundamental part of this, but the relationships, the interaction among teams, those of you that needed something, those of you that had something to share, those are the things that make these events so very special. And we marvel at the attitude that you guys all bring to these events. And we just want to say congratulations to all of you for bringing the spirit of collaboration to RoboBoat 2023. So thank you.
Here, here.
Sure. Thank you, Sherry. Anyway, the other part of it is you've learned a tremendous amount. One of the things we've heard around the RoboNation events before is embrace failure. You're gonna fail, you're gonna struggle, you're gonna learn a lot through that. And I think all of you hopefully are leaving here with a higher degree of knowledge than when you came. But the other part of that is that the networking, the professional networking that you do, the relationships that you've made that span geographic boundaries, age, language, we want you to keep those and hold on to those and take those through the rest of your career. We'll be sending out information, but we would love for you to connect with RoboNation on LinkedIn and any other form that you can find us through other forms of social media, but LinkedIn is what you're going to use more and more as you move into your careers. And many of you are very much on the verge of just leaving school behind and getting into your careers. So please join us on LinkedIn. That's the end of the reflection part of this. So now we're going to jump into the awards. So the first one that we have is a traditional part of many of our events, which is a sponsor award from Blue Robotics. And we have 3 sets of 2 thrusters per set that we're going to award. And the first one, because they demonstrated a higher degree of the view of technology and the use of technology, we want to give 1 set of thrusters to MIT. The technology that they demonstrated, hydrophones are very important. So if you can work your way through the hydrophones and adding those to your systems, it will help you in the future. But it's also something else that can go wrong. The second set of thrusters we are actually going to give to a team that struggles with government procurement systems and probably has a much harder time than most of you in getting any sort of new hardware, and that is the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. They're not here accepting on their behalf. It's Julianne Smith. And then the third set of thrusters is to a team that in some organizations or some events or in some instances you might think of rising from the ashes and the phoenix and things like that. We now refer to this group as rising from the silt. That goes to Bengawan. Sorry, raise your hand, stand up, spin around. Okay, so that is the end of the sponsor awards. And so now I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Dr. Julie Stark, NSWC Carteret. Julie, I think you have got the Judges Awards. Thank you all.
Well, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Because I can't hold it while I'm looking at something and still have my wine in my hand. So you're gonna have to deal with that. So as Daryl said, we every year at this competition have a number of awards that are the Special Judges Awards. And we came up with this because some of it is all about performance, and we want your vehicles to perform, we want you to grow as a team. We also want to have an opportunity to recognize behavior that we want to emphasize. We want to see the collaborative behavior. We want to see the teams working together. We want to see teams helping each other, which happens every year. And if we could give out award to every one of you, we see great behavior, but sometimes there's just a little teams that go a little bit above and beyond the others. So we each year come up with a few awards that we can give out to try to recognize some of those. So we'll go through these, and as Daryl said, just like with the other awards throughout the evening, what we'll have you do is just kind of recognize yourself and then maybe stand up so we can all clap and be excited about it, and then the giant checks and different things will come afterwards. So. All right, so we had a couple of teams. As you know, we had a couple boats, even though it's a USV competition, some of the boats forgot that and tried to go underwater. And sometimes that goes not so great and the competition's over. So sometimes teams work really, really hard, working through the night, working countless hours, working with other teams, digging into their pockets to run to the store to buy additional things. So we had a couple teams that we decided needed an award for perseverance because they had something bad happen, and instead of just folding up and saying, we're just going to leave, we can't deal with it, we're going to do it another year, they said, we're going to fight through. We're going to figure out a way to continue. So we'd like to give an award for perseverance for $500 to the team of Tel Aviv University from Israel. To give an award for perseverance. Another team that had to deal with this, and another award for $500, along with some thrusters to the team of Bengawan. To fight back and be able to get back in the water and really be able to demonstrate what all that hard work has done. So next up, we have a team that, in a similar fashion, just had a great attitude the whole time, fought through some adversity, or just, had to, again, deal with that whole USB that may have tried to take a little flip, and they were able to fight back and get back in the water the next day. And it was amazing that they did it so quickly. This team also helped. As you guys know, we have some teams that are high school teams. They helped a high school team out, and their targeting autonomy was great. And I'm not gonna say this is the reason they got the award, but it didn't hurt that they gave all the judges dates and everybody else. Because those are pretty delicious, pretty awesome. So the award for resilience and a $500 check goes to MTC from Egypt. Good job, guys. All right, so sometimes, you know, you have a team, they might get there, they might be here, they might not have performed as well as they wanted to, but we recognize some behaviors that maybe they didn't do as great this year, even though they really tried hard, but we see they're doing some things that will enable them to really set up the next generation, the next team. And that's something everybody should be doing, right? Thinking about knowledge management, how we set up, because, you know, all of you are evolving and going, you know, moving on. So this team not only demonstrated really great character, they had excellent knowledge management skills, they talked to us about what they're doing to set up the next generation of the team, and this team was a very young team. Again, something else they did that we really did appreciate was they might have written thank you in the sand where we could see it while we were deliberating. And we'd like to give what we're calling the Succession Award for $250 to James Martin High School from the United States. Okay, so the next award we'd like to give, we call the Contingency Award. So this particular team demonstrated, you know, we can all come up with a plan A, and that's fine, but sometimes you need a plan B. Sometimes you need to think, what if this system fails and we're going to do this? What's plan C? And what we recognized a couple different times is that they were really good at planning for the what ifs, which happen in the field. In addition to that, they kind of took the extra step, and even though they're not from the United States, one of the students on the team decided to get a radio license in the US because they thought that would be good, which was really interesting. So for a couple of these reasons, we're going to give the Contingency Award along with a check for $250 US to, I'm hoping I say it right, Gnats. Okay, so you'll hear us saying it all the time, and you'll hear your mentors, your teachers, when you get jobs, collaboration is key to success. We see great collaboration. We saw collaboration, we could probably have picked most of you that did this. Everybody's collaborating here. It's a very collaborative event, even though it's a competition, and that is fantastic. We really want to encourage that. You're all learning. We saw a number of teams doing this, but there was one team in particular that even though their boat wasn't performing particularly well, in fact, they barely had a seagoing vessel when they first got here, they just kept on trying. They tried, they tried, they tried. They were a newer team. They had an amazing attitude, even though maybe things weren't going as great as they'd hoped. And while they were doing that, they kept collecting data. And instead of just, you know, keeping that to themselves, they not only shared those data, they even sought out teams a couple times and told them, oh, we heard you need this. Want to make sure you know we just uploaded this for you. So we would like to give the Collaboration Award along with a check for $250 to the team from Puerto Rico. Many of you ended up learning that, you know, communication is key as you proceed. We had to sometimes remind you because, you know, some teams are so polite that they don't want to ask something. We would kind of nudge and say, you know, you're allowed to ask that team. Maybe they'll swap with you or something. So you all did that, and so we saw that over. It was fantastic. But there were a couple of teams, one in particular, that more than once either gave up their time slot or delayed something they were going to do This particular team also seemed to have very limited resources. It's a new collaborative team, a new team in itself, and they just kept trying. Some very young people performing pretty advanced mathematics at a college level. And for all of these reasons, we came up with another award that was just a special judges award that goes to the, along with a $500 check. And that's to the collaborative team of Hagerty High School and the University of Central Florida from the same thing. We might just have to start making things up. All right, here we go. That one. Okay. I think that I've gotten through all but one. So, oh, there we go. So, every year we're excited to welcome new teams. It's really hard to come in as a new team. You guys have all been there. Even sometimes, with COVID, when, there wasn't as much happening for a couple of years, it's almost like a new team. So we had a couple of new teams this year. It's very hard to come in. There's a lot going on. We had one in particular that, as a new team, did a great job, didn't make huge progress, but managed to qualify to get to the finals, which was really great. So we decided to give the Rookie of the Year award along with a check for $250 to the Memorial University of Newfoundland from Canada. And unfortunately, they're not here because they had to get back to school. So they're done. Julian, do you have another sheet? Will you check and make sure I have 2 pages that are the same? Could you make sure? I think I have one more and that is it, right? I just have this one and that's it, right? Okay, great. Okay, so we came up with a new award this year. So the people that have been around these competitions know that normally the person up here is Miss Kelly Cooper from the Office of Naval Research. She's a huge reason that this competition exists at all. She's also been key to ensuring that the funding goes to RoboNation to make it happen. RoboNation's amazing, so they really help implement her vision. A lot of the people that are here volunteering their time as judges are from different, mostly Navy, but different government agencies. But a lot of this, we all think of Kelly as the person that really started it, continues to grow it, and she had to leave because her day job got in the way of the fun stuff like this. So she had to leave today, and that's why I'm doing this instead of her. So since she wasn't here while we were doing judges' deliberation, we came up with a new award. And we decided Kelly, as an amazing ocean engineer, who's brilliant and interesting, and is really just at the forefront of thinking about how innovation can interchange with STEM, we decided to come up with the first annual Kelly Cooper, the Cooper Naval Architecture Award. Along with this award is a check for $1,000. So the team that's going to get this also dealt with some adversity, had some interesting times, but what kept their boat interesting was that they had a really sleek naval design. And it was a new design from previous years. Their design was very stable, very interesting. The team had some issues. The boat was having some issues, but they just kept trying. And we all kept going, ooh, that's a really nice looking boat. So for the first annual Cooper Naval Architectural Award, and a check for $1,000 goes for the University of Science and Technology from Krakow from Poland. From the Office of Naval Research. He retired a couple years ago. He couldn't get enough of RoboBoat, so he keeps coming back. So we're all excited to have him here. And he's going to present some design documentation awards next.
the design documentation is very important. It is one of the key. It tells us and yourself how hard you've worked, how much you've thought about this, and you're putting it down on paper for yourselves and for the future generations. So it's extremely important. So there's 4 categories to this. The websites, the team videos, the technical design reports, and the presentation. So what we're going to do is we're going to give an award for the first place in all of those 4. And at the same time, we're going to do, from the overall point of view, we're going to give the 3rd and the 2nd and the 1st place for documentation. So let me start. First place for the website, $500 check, MIT. First place for the technical design report, $500, University of Michigan. First place for the presentation, one of the best presentations I've ever seen, University of Michigan. First place, team video, MIT, $500. So these are the overall awards. Now there's going to be a banner as well that you'll receive for 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So this is the overall for the design documentation. 3rd place, University of Michigan. 2nd place for $1,000 is Baronostra ITS. First place overall for design documentation, MIT. All right. So that does cover the design documentation, and now we're going to give the overall awards for the Autonomy Challenge. This is the centerpiece of the entire competition. Bill Porter is going to present those.
Oh yeah, that's a problem. I might try this way. Though holding it like this, all I can think is, who wants to sign up for a time slot? Sitting here listening to all the awards being handed out and reflecting on this year, I only have one word, and that's wow. This RoboBoat has been amazing. I think it'll be known as the RoboBoat of firsts. The first time we've had this many teams enter RoboBoat. The first time we've had this many boats get on the water in one day. 17. We had 17 boats in the water in one day. It's also the first time that I used the line in orientation, and I heard it's resounded with a lot of people. I said, you're not competing against each other, you're competing against me. What I didn't tell you is it's not a fair fight. I have help. I have help in the form of 18-mile-per-hour winds. I have help in the form of college universities shrinking budgets at the same time that travel expenses get more expensive. I get to sit back and let my help do most of the work. But this year, you came together. You stood up to me as a joint group of students looking to learn. And I stand here admitting defeat. The performance was amazing. I'm shocked, but I promise you one thing. Next year is going to be harder. So with that said, let's talk about the top 5. And this is a combination of your in-water performance and your design report. your design, presentation, and all the other performance. The judges put it all together and came up with the top 5. We are, again, not going to come up. We're just going to raise your hands or stand up for applause. 5th place, Mao Military Technical College from Egypt. And a check for $1,000. 4th place, Phantom 2, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in the US. And a check for $1,500. Oh, we can start getting banners now. Who wants the money and who wants the banner?
Who wants both?
I think they all want both. 3rd place, Georgia Tech Marine Robotics Group from the US. And a check for $2,000. All right, top 2. Are we ready? 2nd place, Creatini, University from Turkey. And a check for $2,500. All right. Oh, wait. We've got to alter the course. Hold on. Now we're talking 1st place. This is the 1st place for the entire competition. So in this case, we want the team to come up. Come take the victory lap on stage. 1st place in the 2023 RoboBoat Autonomous Vehicle Competition, Bernastra ITS Institute of Technology. Come on up, guys. Come up on stage. Hey, guys. And a check for $4,000.
Here, look at me.
Once again, I am awestruck by the unity that all the teams exhibited. I don't think there's a single time where I suggested that a team try to go to another team for help and they didn't receive that help. You guys made RoboBoat great this year. I want a round of applause for everyone for that. Finally, I'm going to reintroduce Daryl for some interesting remarks in the closing.
Yeah, these are the closing remarks, which are far more interesting than interesting remarks. Congratulations to all the teams. To echo everything Bill just said, we, at this level, at the organizational level, and from the judges, we were very impressed with all you did. So the last few things. So what we're going to do as soon as we're done, which is like about 2 more minutes, we're going to move the stage off the platform so you can come up and collect your checks if you got a check, take pictures in front of the banner if you want to do that, and we've got some other things. So Sherry, I believe every team needs to come up and see you, is that correct? Yes, every team send a representative to come up and see Sherry after the fact. You don't have to like assaulter all at the same time. There's still more food, more drink, help yourselves to that. But closing remarks, please share your data. The data sharing is a big deal. Special shout out to Puerto Rico. They've been the first ones to share their data. So follow suit. We will be sending out a survey. Or is it already out? We will be sending out a survey. We want your feedback. Everything good, things you'd like to see improved. If you've got suggestions and ideas that we've not thought of, please submit those in your survey. We pay attention to all of that. And lastly, at 10 o'clock at the Hyatt, where most of you have been staying, is a pool party. Rumor has it there will be pizza available. And there's a pool at the pool party. Absolutely, that's been a big surprise of the night. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to take the messages back that you've learned, recruit more students to help your team, work on continuity, try not to make sure that some big chunk of you graduates and there's a hole. Get more students involved and keep your work going. Let it be your legacy within your university. Yes, so those that have checks, we also want to get your photo here in front of the banner, all right? And the checks are up here. Okay, congratulations. Have a great night. Get some sleep. We'll see you soon.